you ever tried to replace your W-2 income with business or real estate venture? Was it difficult? Maybe it was so difficult you gave up or nearly gave up. We hear you. With our first business, there were so many times we thought it wasn't going to work and we should just throw in the towel. Thankfully, we kept going, but it was an eye-opening experience and just how hard it is to make more money. Awareness is the first step to finding how to transform the difficulty into life-changing dollars in the bank, but it's not the end.
We're going to share more about what you might do today. Hello and welcome to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast. We believe when conventional financial thinking doesn't get you where you want to go, you need wealth wisdom. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love you to also give us a like and comment below to get this message out to more people. The algorithm is a thing, right?
Yeah, it is a thing.
Now, you might think it's so hard to make more money because other people have that money and they do not want to part with it. They want to keep it. That couldn't be farther from the truth. When you consider that most people spend 100% of what they earn.
We see it all the time.
It's much more likely that they just don't want what you're selling. They have different priorities with their money than giving it to you. Case in point, let's take employers as an example.
Now, J.O.B, job, does not stand for make more money. That's MMM. Job stands for just over broke. It's very difficult to make more money when you work for someone else because every dime they pay you is a dime less in their pocket that they can spend on their families, their friends, and on themselves. With rare exception, employers will only pay you enough to keep you working for them and not a cent more if they can help it.
Yet, those who jump ship from that J.O.B and try to make it on their own can still find it very difficult to make more money. Here's the main reason why. And yes, it sounds like a joke. Making millions of dollars is like breeding rabbits. It's much easier when you start with 2.
Oh, that's a good one. You might have heard it this way. It takes money to make money. Now, we don't agree with this entirely. It takes a lot more than money to make money. It takes courage, intentionality, determination, for example. No amount of money is going to matter if you don't have some common sense and some tenacity. Yet with only courage, intentionality, and determination, common sense, and other tenacity, it's going to take some time and patience to make more money. Time and patience too.
So we believe that too many side hustlers, business owners, real estate investors, whatever you call yourself, we believe so many of us greatly underestimate the money it's going to take to make more money than we did at our JOBs. And in some cases, that underestimation puts too many people who break out on their own into debt with a very steep hill to climb up to get back to even, let alone to get to the place where they're able to make more money than they were at their W-2.
And that's why we love talking about contingency funds, opportunity funds, safety nets, and other monetary methods of making sure you find it easier to make more money and not harder.
And this is coming from our personal experience. We started our first business with a negative net worth.
Yes, zero, yeah, below zero.
Below zero. We had student loans. We had none of our own money to put into the venture, but we did have good credit and we used some of that good credit, AKA debt, to get going. But it was a huge struggle to make the business profitable and to continue to make more money to grow that business so it could, make more and replace what we had been making in our cubicles before then. Now, as you know, we ended up selling that business when we started our family. And looking back, we totally could have made more money in that decade of running the business had we stayed in our JOBs in cubicle land before we left to go start that business.
The day after we finished training the new management at the first business, we started our second one. This time we had a positive net worth. It wasn't huge, but it was fuel to get things going. Even that little bit of fuel made all the difference. We added to our experiential knowledge from the first business and found that we could make way more money than before because of that past experience.
Yeah, we actually call that first business really our MBA program because we learned so much from it, but didn't actually make money doing it. In the next week's episode, we're going to talk about why it's easy to make more money, because honestly, it's never been easier in the history of the world to make good money. But we intentionally put this why it's difficult to make more money first, because we want you to hear this lesson, but hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that next episode where we talk about how easy it is to make money.
Now, I want to give you a warning here. This does not mean if you have some money stashed away, you should leave your job right away because you think it's easy to make money. Literally, I was reading a Reddit where somebody was saying, hey, I have a really good job, but I want to be an entrepreneur and business owner, and I want to quit my job because I think it's going to be easier on that side of things. And I saw so many people saying, well, what's the idea? What are you going to do? And she had no idea, right? And everybody is saying, stay at your job, just keep working, because she may not realize it is really hard to go out on your own. You don't have the support like you did in the job, right? Not that there is that, but it's one of those things where maybe the grass isn't always greener on that other side or the other way, right? So you have to figure it out for yourself, but don't just go listen to a Reddit thing and say, I'm going to do this. I don't know.
Yeah, well, so part of what our story was we kept working at our W-2 jobs as long as we could. And you even were going to maybe work part-time once the business opened. We realized we couldn't, but we at least worked for a while, bootstrapped, got things going, proved the idea. And then even after we started, I took a W-2 job to help give us a stable income while the business got to the level of profitability that we wanted.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually very common. A lot of people who are business owners, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, they still have a J.O.B.
Yeah, and that's what they said in the comments. Prove it. Like, prove it out.
The main thing we want to emphasize here is this. Never underestimate the power of foundational wealth. 99% of us are not going to be handed any sort of foundational wealth. We weren't, but we can tell you that you can build it no matter where you're starting from. If you start with maybe just 1% of your income and you put it into an asset that creates true uninterrupted compound interest, and then maybe you would try to increase it 2, 3% and so forth, you can create foundational wealth that increases your chances of success when you take a risk to go after making more money. We adopted that philosophy of building foundational wealth in 2013. We love working alongside others to do the same. Maybe we need to reach out to this Reddit lady to be like, okay, while you're working W-2 and you're trying to figure out your business, how about let's build some foundational wealth too?
So are you ready to start building foundational wealth that makes it less difficult to make more money in the future? Are you struggling to make more money now and wish you had some foundational wealth to put to work and ease your troubles? We specialize in setting up strategies to build contingency funds, opportunity funds, and safety nets so that you can put your courage, your intentionality, and determination to good use and make more money. It starts, though, with scheduling a simple 15-minute call at wealthwisdomfp.com.
Yeah, we'd love to talk with you and talk about what does this mean, foundational wealth, that will allow you to make more money, regardless of where you are in your journey. If you're still at the W-2, you don't even have an idea yet, or if you're a couple years in like we were, and you're trying to figure out how do I make this work, or anywhere in between or way beyond, we would love to chat with you. And thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Hit that subscribe button so you hear the other side of the story, how it's easy to make more money. And may you live long and profit. Topics presented in this podcast are for general information only and not for the purposes of providing legal, accounting, or investment advice. On such matters, please consult a professional who knows your specific situation.